Hi, everyone. Dorothea Hendriks here, your communication coach in presentation skills and in public speaking. I'm speaking to you right now. That's one form of communication. Words are coming out of my mouth. They're going to your ear, hopefully to your ear. And here we are. I'm communicating. But today we're going to look at a different way of communicating, and that is writing. Good business writing is actually good communication. Speaking is a good form of communication, but so is writing. And in our workplace today, we do an awful lot of writing. As a manager, as a leader, as a team lead, you're going to be doing an enormous amount of writing. So today we're going to look at some of the elements that make up good business writing. So, depending on the content and the confidentiality of your message, the message that you're sending, your company often determines how you're sending your message. But where it doesn't, you have to decide yourself, how do I send this memo, this letter? Do I do it through, electronically? I'll send it. Do I do it by email? Should I do something by text? So much of that depends on your message and for you to decide. Now, when it comes to your message and how you send it, how important is this message that you're going to be sending? Does it require a certain level of confidentiality? Does it require a certain amount of documentation? That's going to determine what form your message takes and how you send it. Also, how formal or informal do you want that message to be? If it's going to upper executives, if it's going out to the media, or if you're dealing with your own team, your staff, different employees. So the degree of formality, either more formal or less formal. And of course, the other thing when it comes to sending a message is, do you need any feedback? Are you looking for a response? And if you're looking for a response, how quickly do you need that response? Or do you have a certain window of time to gather the different responses and then have those documented? So the importance of your message, where that message is going in the hierarchy of things, and do you need a response, and what's the time of that response, the time that you need. Some other things that you need to think about, and I think I'd mentioned this in a previous video, is to know, why are you sending this message? Like, what is the reason for this message? And sometimes it might be clear to you as a sender, but not necessarily clear to the person who's receiving it. So clarity is really, it's one of the most important things when it comes to sending a message. How clear are you, and how clear will the recipient be in understanding once they read what you've sent? So how clear are you? Why are you sending this message? And then, of course, is, what do you want the people who are receiving it on the other end, what do you want them to do with the information that you've sent them? Are you persuading them in some way? Are you just giving them extra details that will add to their day, help them in a project? What is it that you are expecting them to do with what you've sent? In all your documentation, whether you do an email, whether you do a text, a memo, do a formal letter, whatever your message is, you always want to make sure that it's clear, your message is concise, and that you're kind. Clear, concise, and kind. And as you're crafting and drafting your message, think about the people on the receiving end. Now, you probably know your team, you probably know the staff, you know many of the people, but when you're sending out whatever the message is that you're sending out and the response you're hoping to get, will that come as a group? Are they all fairly unified, one thinking, one goal? Or do you have a number of individual personalities that sometimes require you to think and maybe craft and draft your message in a different way? How do they feel about the subject that you're talking about? Is everybody on the same page? Or are there a few people who are on a different page in terms of the information that you want to share? Do you need to go into any extra explanations? How deep do you need to go, if you need to go at all? And how will this affect them? So understanding what you're writing, why you're writing it, and the impact it will have on your reader. What impact will it have? How are you addressing them? Most of the time, we do this automatically when we speak, but sometimes we forget when we write that using the pronouns such as you, your, in reference to the reader helps personalize what you're writing, is kinder, helps direct their attention, and gives them a better understanding of what they need to focus on and how what you've written can help them move forward. As a leader, as a manager, as someone in the workplace, giving information and looking to persuade through writing can be challenging. But so much really depends on how you craft and draft your message. Here, basically, your formality, your informality, the tone that you use, the words that you use, and how you group those words together. And as I mentioned earlier, so important to be clear, to be concise, and to be kind. Be genuinely interested in the people you are crafting and drafting this message for. See them on the other end as they're receiving this material, this email, this letter, this text that you've sent. Be clear in your intention. Be conscious of the words that you use and how you put those words together. Now, do you have a lot of time to stop and think about this as you're going and rushing around your day? Probably not, but setting the attention early in the morning, setting an intention of being clear, being concise, and being kind in everything you craft and draft, be it on your mobile, be it on your computer, be it by hand, can help set your stage for the rest of the day. Good business writing is making sure that your message has a purpose, that it fits the task at hand, and that the audience, the people who are reading, will be on the receiving end of this message, that they can easily understand and act on what you want them to act on. Good business writing is good communication. I've added some other emails, some other videos of mine having to do with writing and speaking in the descriptive link below. Until next time, this is Dorothea Hendriks wishing you mountains of success. Oh, and if you haven't yet signed up for my YouTube channel, please do so. Click the button below. Until next time, mountains of success.